The best of the Morning X.
99X.
I don't know if you caught this yesterday, or I know it was the night before. Do you ever watch the Learning Channel?
Every once in a while.
God, they have the best stuff on there. All the medical stuff.
All the time.
Love the medical stuff. So they had a thing, it was like in the middle of the night the other night, and they did a show on amnesia. And, like, what causes amnesia, and, you know, there are different severities of amnesia. I mean, you know, we're thinking of, like, amnesia is like you forget everything. And it's not like that. And sometimes you just forget a little bit. There is, like, severe amnesia where you do forget everything. And they were talking and interviewing these people who had completely... they were in an accident or something and had full amnesia to the point where they completely lost recollection of their entire life before the accident. They had to be reintroduced to their husbands and wives, their children.
How scary is that?
They didn't know who they were. They didn't know anything about themselves.
It's like
that is frightening.
Movie, I think it was Regarding Henry. It was with
Harrison Ford,
where he got shot and
Have you ever known anybody who's had amnesia?
Never.
See,
I've only seen it in movies.
Yeah, I always thought, like, growing up as a kid, I always thought it was like just a movie thing. Like, oh, you got amnesia. Yeah. Has anybody? I mean, is there anybody out there who's ever had amnesia? Like, had bad amnesia, or have you known anybody?
Yeah. We have questions for you.
Have you known anybody, or been like in a relationship with somebody who was in a?
I'd like to forget my last relationship.
You'd like to forget it. You wish you had.
If
amnesia.
Somebody can give me amnesia, I'll take it.
There are certainly mornings here where I wish afterwards, you know, I could just come down with
the whole thing.
Quick little case of amnesia. And what's that like? What does that got to be like to walk into your house when you don't even know anybody?
It's got to be
You don't know
frightening.
who you are.
It's got to be awfully frightening because I mean you don't know what's happening.
We actually had a lot of people on hold. Most of them hung up. Apparently they forgot what they called. They were on hold and then just forgot. All right. Bobby.
Yeah.
Talk about your amnesia.
Well, I had a wreck, only one of 3 that year, and I ended up in the back seat of the car and woke up in this is what I was told. Mm-hmm. I woke up in the emergency room, and I was like, you know, what am I doing here? Couldn't remember about a year's worth of memories.
Ooh.
Okay, you couldn't remember a year's worth of memory?
I had no recollection of my sister ever being pregnant. And
how did the doctor?
We got in the car, and there was this baby in the car, and I said, Mom, who's this baby? And she told me, and I said, Amy hasn't had another child. And it was really freaky because it took about a week for everything to come back, and I still don't have the immediate 24 hours prior to the accident. I still don't remember that.
That's fairly common, people who like don't remember just before an accident. But let me ask you this. Was there anybody at all who, let's say you were very friendly with, or maybe somebody who you had met over the course of that last year who you had developed a relationship with, who you had no idea who they were all of a sudden?
Yeah, it was a coworker. Somebody I'd been working with for about 8 months, and I go back to work a week or so later, and I went and asked my clinical manager. I said, "Who's that dude in the trauma room?" She said, "That's Joel." And I said, "Who?" And I did not remember him ever being. And I'd been working with him for about 8 months.
Really?
How did the doctors?
And did you have to like reestablish your whole friendship with the guy? Like learn who he was again? I mean, it must.
Well, it was kind of, in the beginning, I was kind of like, well, I have no idea who this guy is, and I was really weird, you know, it was kind of weird working with him. It was kind of like working with somebody brand new.
Did you think he was hot the second time around, though?
Yeah, no, not really.
How did the doctors explain that?
Right.
Well, I had a closed head injury is what I had, and it's a kind of a contra coup type of injury where you bang your brain swashes around in your head and hits the inside of your skull, and you just damage certain parts of it, and mine was the memory center.
Wow. All right, thanks. That's just wild.
Thanks, Bobby.
Charlie.
Hey.
How you doing?
What's up?
Hey, what happened to you?
I was 12, had a go-kart accident, lost everything before 12 years old. Have no memories before 12.
Really?
How frightening.
Everything was gone.
To this day, you have no memory before 12.
That's correct.
And when you woke up, I mean, did you know who your parents were? Did you know who your friends were? Did you?
Negative. Knew nothing. Had to learn how to read, write, walk, talk, everything, all over.
Total amnesia.
Yeah, I was in the hospital for about 11 months.
When you first woke up, you're laying in this bed, you have no idea who you are, where you are. What was the first thing that was said to you?
Somebody just told me that I was in an accident.
Did
I
you
actually woke up in a bathtub.
Did you? I've had nights like that.
So,
I've had nights like that.
soaking in
Woken up
salt water.
Did you recognize your parents?
No.
Did they?
Nothing.
You had no idea who? Did you understand the concept of parents?
I don't recall because that was 20 years ago.
Right. So
but I don't believe I knew anything.
You're like,
I was like a baby.
So like Charlie, were your mom and dad, and you? Huh? What?
Right.
How did you communicate?
I didn't recognize the people. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just there.
You knew how to talk, obviously.
Some. It was almost gibberish.
So you had to learn how to read and write all over again.
Everything.
So, do you look back at? I'm sure you have pictures of your childhood from before you were 12.
I do.
And those don't jog any memories.
Zero. I have to ask about things.
God.
What I do know now is what people have filled me in over the past 20 years.
It's good that it happened at a young age.
Really? Can you imagine if it happened like when you were 20? You have you don't remember your teens?
That would suck.
That is unbelievable. Thank you, Charlie. That is
Although
amazing.
crash, a good case of amnesia might wipe out a lot of
painful things. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wish I could have
helmet. No helmet on the go-kart, so that's a good message.
Oh,
Make
yeah.
sure you wear a helmet.
Wow. All right. Thanks a lot, Charlie.
That is a great message.
All right.
The best of the Morning X on 99X.
Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy.
The original
99X.